Former spokesperson for the Israeli Defense Force and senior fellow for the Foundation for Defense and Democracy, Jonathan Conricus, joins me. Good evening, sir. And, I don't think anyone has bothered to read the Hamas charter. I mean, it's like, and to see what they've done, it's almost like the Biden administration, everybody else, we'd love a ceasefire, but how naive, because Hamas doesn't want one. They get a ceasefire and suddenly the world stops hating Israel.
Yes, good evening, Greta. I'm happy that you and your staff have done the correct journalistic thing and to actually go through that horrible document that is the founding document of Hamas, and it really tells you all you need to know. Hamas wants to destroy Israel. They write it in their documents. They say it in Arabic and in English to those willing to listen, and they do it in actions. And what they say also after October the 7th is that they will do massacre after massacre, and they won't stop until all of the Jews are gone from what I call Israel and for what they call Palestine. That's clear. It's clear for many Israelis. It's clear for the IDF, and that is why Israelis say ceasefire all the time that Hamas is still in power and intact equals a victory for Hamas, and it equals a victory of the massacre of October 7th. And it's something that we cannot tolerate.
But even the Attorney General of the United States, I'm glad that the United States has indicted Sinwar. I mean, he's a terrible person. I'm very disappointed that Israel did brain surgery on him about 15 years ago and saved his life. That I'm not grateful for. But at least there's an indictment. But if you listen to what the Attorney General said, he talks about Hamas being funded by Iran and Hezbollah. He totally leaves out the fact that UNRWA, the United Nations, of which the United States is a big contributor, has been funneling money through Hamas, making Hania, who was eliminated in Iran about a month ago, a billionaire, and all of them very rich. I mean, we in many ways have been complicit in funding them.
All correct. And I'll tell you something else interesting. Khaled Mash'al is another Hamas senior, also a billionaire, who is head of the political bureau of Hamas, or the overseas bureau. He is still at large. He is jetting around between one NATO ally, Turkey, and another non-NATO ally but strategic partner, Qatar. He is free at large and spewing out hatred and drumming up coalitions against Israel and against America. And if now the Department of Justice has issued arrest warrants and indictments, then for sure it would be easy to ask these partners, Turkey and Qatar, to hand him over and to bring him to justice.
All right, let me ask you one last question, because there are two ways to get weapons into Gaza for Hamas, either the Mediterranean or through the southern border, which is the Philadelphia corridor that Egypt has supposedly been in charge of to monitor, so they couldn't dig tunnels and bring all these weapons in. And now Egypt is part of the discussion. Is Egypt taking any responsibility? They were supposed to patrol this area, so all these weapons didn't get in there, and it didn't happen that way.
Not only are they not taking responsibility, but many officers in the Egyptian military forces have gotten rich out of kickbacks from smugglers. And even worse, today, the Egyptians are the main force standing between Israel, making sure that there are no tunnels, and stopping Hamas. The Egyptians have been opposing vehemently any efforts by Israel to control that Philadelphia corridor and make sure that there are no tunnels. And Egypt has been applying pressure on the US, and that has been applied on Israel. And unfortunately, that is why things are stalling. But Egypt has so much to lose from closing those tunnels. A lot of kickbacks and a lot of money has gone through Egypt because of those tunnels.
And I'm going to take the last word on this, but Hamas is an offshoot of Muslim Brotherhood, which of course is Egypt. So, it's very easy for me to be very suspicious that everybody's up to his eyeballs in this. Anyway, Jonathan Conricus, thank you for joining me, sir.
Thank you for having me, ma'am.